Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports. And last week I took a little bit of heat because I was not upset, but the Bruins, forced Game 7 with the Caps. And then what happens with Channel 9 is they take the Ness and Overflow, and that bumps Mainly Motorsports. So
I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, because I was at the race shop Wednesday night, and I was like, I got home and I looked on, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
But it's still, we're on plenty of times. You got your chance Thursday morning, so you moms, stay-at-home moms, tune into Mainly Motorsports at 10 o'clock on Thursdays, and then we got Friday afternoons at 3:30 and 8, and then starting this week, it's going to be on Saturdays at 2. It used to be 1:30 to 2:30. Now it's from 2 to 3 on Saturdays.
And I know there's a lot of people in racing that are into the stick and ball sports also, and puck and whatever you want to call it. But I don't follow any of it. I don't care.
No.
I mean, I like to go and watch a game. I like to go to a Pirates game or
I know what you're saying.
But I don't, and I enjoy going to that stuff, but I don't get into it.
Years ago, when the Portland Pirates sponsored my late model team at Beechridge, they did it because it's the crossover between the motorsports fans and the
a lot of
fans.
race people go to the Pirates games in the winter. It's crazy.
No, it's good, and
I see all these people getting fired up about it, and I'm you give me crap all the time about being on Facebook, being on Twitter, and all this stuff, and it's funny because a lot of people that are in racing down south, I follow them on Twitter, and it's funny to see somebody like Steve Letap making comments about "Let's go Bruins" and stuff like that, but I just have no interest in getting absorbed in it,
I don't understand Twitter, so I don't have a Twitter.
I live for Sundays to watch the race, or whenever it's on.
So they're all tweeting?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
I'm on Twitter the whole time the race is on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's my outlet.
Last week you made a cameo appearance here. I mean, Sean Moody, we had Sean for 3 segments. And Sean's the type of guy, and when I was thinking this after the show, you could listen to him all night because he's such a positive person.
Right, and I was here and we taped, while Sean was taping and stuff, and got to actually talk to him for the first time. He's somebody that I always knew who he was and respected him and stuff like that for what he's accomplished, but then to actually meet him and actually have conversations about hot topics, that we probably can't talk about on here or whatever, but just hot topics in general about the state of different things in the state and in the economy and stuff. And
you don't get to be...
He's a real person.
Successful businessman.
He is exactly what this, I don't want to say this state needs, but he's what this country needs in a way. The people who have that positive influence.
When he goes for it again, me and you, we'll be on the campaign together.
Yeah.
We walk in a room, people listen.
Yeah,
right. When I speak, people listen.
Yeah, when people see me, they don't know what to think.
Yeah, but no, we've been busy, and obviously race season's here, and this upcoming weekend, the kickoff of the Pro All-Star Series season right there at Beechridge Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and what's funny is we haven't really dealt with each other a lot as far as doing the show. We pop in, we do what we got to, but like a couple weeks ago, I ended the show from Lee, and then last week you ended the show from Unity. And
you got to see where we end the show from this week.
Yeah, it's like the new highlight reel, I guess.
And I'll tell you right now, Louis Anderson and Ron Hubbard are going to try to hit every track in the state of Maine's opening race, as well as the Actor, Star, Lee, all of them. And we did it at Unity last week, and that's our goal. And the tough one's going to be Beechridge opens May 26th. Louis will be there. I'll have already opened Beechridge technically this weekend at
the Pass race, right?
At Pass, but I'll be at Star that night with Alicia's first Legends race.
Right.
Then we're going to drive all night to open Spud Speedway. Go up there. I want to present the trophies up at Spud Speedway. Kind of have Mainly Motorsports Day, and so Dan McKeag has offered the Naughty 40 van, so I can fit 11 normal-sized people in it, 8 Gregs.
Yeah, if you want to do the Beechridge to Spud or the Star to Spud scenario.
We're going, baby.
I mean,
just another one of those things in my busy lifestyle that I live, huh?
I don't even know if I could. I'd love to go to Spud, but
suck it up, baby. Be a big boy.
I know.
And then I got to come back and do my regular gig and my new new job.
Yeah,
my new job.
The new job at the
Yep.
pit.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, obviously everybody knows, they recognize the name Poulin Heavy Industries. The inaugural Poulin 400. Billy Rogers
Right.
will still call it the Poulin race 7 years later.
Right.
Yep, can't wait for the Poulin race, you know. And but Scott and me have been friends forever, and you know, I worked for him, ran the business for 10 years. Well, now I've taken the business over. You know, pretty big investment on my end, but it really couldn't have happened without him, you know what I mean? Because I got no banks behind me. I got him holding paper, me doing this, and I mean, I'm busting nut. And
So what do you what? It's I know you, and I know it's not going to be the still known as the Pool and Gravel Pit. Is it? Is it going to be something like the Mainly Gravel Pit?
Yeah, we had to change the name because mainly I'm branded. People tell me when they see me,
They
you're the
think
guy,
Mainly.
the mainly guy, right?
You're right.
So my goal in life is to have an empire, my mainly empire. Probably won't have two nickels to rub together, but I'm going to have an empire. You know, I'll live in a tree house up in, you know, Madawaska or something. So we changed the name of the gravel pit to Mainly Sand and Gravel. So
Right.
pretty neat. And we got some new signage going up. You'll see the trucks rolling around the Saco Biddeford area. So anybody that, you know, just grab that phone number if you need anything.
Right.
You know, big or small, we'll bring it.
What's the phone number?
229-1449. This sounds like one of them stupid promos on TV. But everybody out there knows my phone number anyway. They know how to get a hold of me. But,
Right, yeah. And
but no, that's keeping me busy. And because of that, it's going to allow us to do some different things with Mainly Motorsports, which I'm really excited for. With,
Right.
you know, we were able, and a lot of people don't know Dave Stewart. He's the little guy you'll see at the shows with us and stuff.
Right.
But if it wasn't for Dave Stewart and all his efforts,
yeah.
we would have never, you know, he basically kept Mainly Motorsports afloat when things were really, we were struggling, I'll face it. And,
Right.
you know, we were on every week all winter.
You had to be struggling. You brought me on and kept me.
Yeah, but I got something, we're going to find a special job for you. I guess somebody wants to fill your seat. But I don't know.
They'll be fine.
No, but Dave really did a great job. We kept the show, a new show every week, all winter, kept people's interest. You've heard, we've had our sponsors on the last few weeks, right?
Yeah.
LKQ, re-up. Sean Moody, can't wait. Bentley signed on. Bentley says, we need to be involved with you.
Right,
You know, so now Bentley's is involved with us.
Right
and,
on Route 1 in Arundel.
Right on Route 1 in Arundel. Matter of fact, I'm working with them to put on a big motorsports show. You know, they do the cruise nights, the bike nights. We're going to have a night where we, you know, pick and choose some race cars and come down there and do a big deal. So it's going to be a good time. There's a lot of good things happening. And speaking of parties, all them young guns,
Oh, you finally got the details. Let's
all
hear
10.
it.
We are having a young gun party right at Bobby and Peggy Timmons' house up in Route 302 in Wyndham. We'll get all the details. Anybody's welcome. We want, obviously, all the 10 young guns, which we're pretty sure they're all going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
Their fans, their friends, their sponsors, their family. We're going to, you know, people are volunteering to bring food. You know, I think Archie's going to be there. We're going to have some special surprises. So May 18th, and that's...
And people don't realize, you know, this was Peggy's idea, but you have taken it and ran with it. And all the effort that you've put into lining up.
Now I'm giving it back to you, Peggy.
Yeah, it's the racing has started, and everybody's schedules are filled up.
Yeah.
So scheduling it so that it was an available date to get all 10 young guns.
That was tough.
The opportunity there was a chore and a half, and I had to listen to it. So
Friday night, May 18th. This is our past kickoff, and the big question I have is this finally the year that somebody figures out Johnny Clark?
I doubt it.
We're going to hear from Johnny Clark later in the show what he thinks about somebody figuring him out and who it might be. But I'll tell you.
Well, you know, I like Johnny, and he's a great guy and to deal with and stuff like that. And, you know, I think it'll be interesting. And this is nothing against. I don't think his race team and his effort is going to lack. But he now has a child.
A wife. Not, you know.
He's taken a lot of big steps.
Oh, yeah. But we're going to hear what he has to say about that.
So,
but it's going to be great. We're going to talk when we come back about, you know, what he has going on. We're going to hear from Travis Benjamin, you know.
Right.
New sponsor. I mean, there's a guy that, usually a guy has bad luck for a year. This guy has bad luck for years, you know. So, but
he also has some fast cars and some good runs.
So we got a great show planned here today, and you know, don't forget the Young Gun Party. We'll be talking about that more.
May 18th. I don't know if we even said the date.
Yep, May 18th. Friday night, May 18th. We'll get you all the details, directions, and everything, and you know, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by right here at Pepperell Mill campus. I feel intelligent when I say that, so I just like to say it. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 6 convenient locations.
Where is the best place to get a new Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep?
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors. I had an amazing experience at Southern Maine Motors.
When I drove off the lot, it was the greatest feeling to drive that new vehicle.
Southern Maine Motors 110% price guarantee just gives me the peace of mind that I know I'm getting the best deal around.
And we were really impressed with what we saw when we came down here.
I wouldn't go anyplace else.
No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Award Champs, rewarding your champions, the official supplier of Mainly Motorsports. LKQ Core, any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and like I mentioned, you know, we kind of Pro All-Star Series kickoff weekend, and on the phone I'd like to welcome Travis Benjamin to Mainly Motorsports. No stranger to Mainly Motorsports, of course. But,
right, yeah.
So welcome to Mainly Motorsports, Travis.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Now, every year, and I know, so I'm not even going to ask you, your plans are, well, we're going to start the year out and see how things go, and then we'll go from there. But every year you end up trying to run the whole deal. Is that what the plans are this year?
Yeah, you know, we always say we're just going to start the first 4 or 5 and go from there. You know, and usually we're always pretty decent. We just don't always have the greatest finishes. So it gets us excited, you know, to be as competitive as we are. We just got to keep finishing good. And you know, one of these years we're gonna be real tough.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed about your program is that you guys always do have really fast race cars, and you're always up front. Man, you can't catch a break sometimes. It's like the horseshoe falls out near the middle to the end of the race usually on you. You know, how are you going to fix that for us, Trav?
Wow, I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know. You know, some of the stuff is out of our control. Some of the stuff, you know, it is in our control. You know, we just gotta. You know, the flat tires we had there 2 years ago, and 3 of the last 5 races while we were either first and second. You know, I guess you really can't control that, but you know, stuff breaking on us, and you know, we just got to keep a little bit better maintenance to the car. You know, and this year we sold a lot of our stuff. We sold one of our cars, so this year we got one car. It's gonna make it tough to race every race, but it makes it so we can focus on one car, and I think our maintenance will be a lot better this year.
Yeah, maintenance is a key, and that's one of the things that, you know, you look at Johnny Clark, for example, his program. You know, he doesn't drop out of races, and, you know, he's around, and same with you. If you're around at the end, you're usually around in the top 5, but more times than you'd like to have, you're not around at the end.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, you know, I think cutting us back to one car instead of having the 2, you know, you always, when you have 2 cars or 3 cars, maybe, with us, it seems like we're always trying to split our money up between the 2 cars, and you know, and not always buy new parts for both cars. We'll buy used parts for both cars. This way, we have a one car. Well, we got new parts in this car, and everything pretty much brand new. So, you know, I think that's going to help us a lot. You know, we just try to spread ourselves too thin, and this year, you know, and like I said, this is going to be a year where if we go to the racetrack and we wreck or something like that, we don't have to go the next week. So we're putting all our money into the car, you know, and like I said, we're going to focus one race at a time and go from there.
You know, one of the, you say you're going to focus one race at a time and you'd like to run as many races as you can and stuff. And, if you were to pick one race that you said, okay, I need to save my stuff because I want to race this one race, on the schedule this year, what race would that be? What race are you looking forward to racing this year on the Pro All-Star Series?
Fredericton is always one of my favorite places to go, and we always run good there. Still haven't got a win up there yet, but we finished, I think the last 6 races we finished top 5 in 5 of them. So we're always right there, so that's one of the races that I would really, it's a 200 lap race. But they're all important. We run so good at all of them, but, that would be the one race probably. That and then the Auto Value 250, we finished second in that twice now. And I'd like to win that thing.
Oh, yeah, and because with the win comes a big payday. But,
right.
It's always been a family operation, Belfast Variety. Your dad, Ronnie, raced for years. He's there every week with you, putting what he can into it, and, his brother's spotting and all that. But this year you've been able to pick up a little added help, and which could make a big difference, too, in some of those things that you've been lacking.
Yes, for sure. We picked up AG of New England, Associated Grocers of New England, and Surefine products. And the stores have always put money into it, and the economy right now is so bad that it was tough. So we had to have a sponsor, and I worked hard over the winter to get these guys, and they stepped up to the program, and it's going to be exciting. They're going to do 5 races with us. It's not the full schedule, but it's a great deal, and I'm really excited.
That's the best 5 races that their money's going to be on, because not only on the racetrack do you show the poise and character that you have always shown, the people like us that know you, but also in situations like this, doing an interview, you're very good at getting the message across and stuff like that. The next question that I have for you, how much of that, I know that you used to run the Busch North Series some. How much of that influence do you think was from running that, as far as dealing with the media? And also, I don't know if you ever ran it. Did you run the Busch North Series when it ran at Stafford? And are you looking forward to going to Stafford with the Pro All-Star Series?
Yeah, Stafford's going to be awesome. I can't wait to go there. That track is so much fun. And they have such a great facility. And run the Busch North, yes, you're right. With that series, it's NASCAR, and it's so professional, and the media is huge in that deal. So that definitely helped me, and I've always been the type of, I had to have sponsors, Irvin sponsored me for 8 years there, and they were great to me. They treated me awesome, And then last year, I didn't have no sponsors, and I'll tell you what, it was tough. So, and I didn't have as much fun last year just because I spent a lot of money out of my own pocket, So this year is going to be a lot more fun, I think, again, because we got a good sponsor, I want to represent them, and I want them to get as much bang for their buck. I like doing this show tonight. Thank you guys. This is awesome. Everybody loves being on TV, especially sponsors. So I'm excited to get this season started.
Yeah, now all you got to do is put them in victory lane, and hopefully Mainly Motorsports is there, and they'll get even that much more exposure, with some video highlights, which I'm sure they'll be there anyway. But we want to thank you, Travis, for taking the time and coming on here with us. And I know you're getting prepared there for the upcoming race, and see what you've got. And it would be nice to come out of the box, because I know a couple times in the opener at Beech Ridge, you've been the car to beat and just haven't been able to finish it. And maybe this is the year.
Yeah, Beech Ridge, that place, I'm always hit or miss, 2 years ago there, we started 19th, and we were leading by lap 100, and then last year in the middle of the race there, I couldn't even get out of my own way. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to go back to what we know works there, and we're going to stick with that. So I'm excited to get the season started.
All right, well, good luck on 2012, Travis, and congratulations on landing the new sponsor, and hope everything works out for you.
Hey, thank you guys for having me again.
All right, we'll see you this weekend.
Good luck, bud.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Travis Benjamin, he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. But we're going to take a break, and we come back, and we'll talk about some of the other guys that are going to be tough to beat.
Right.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and their new Turner location on Route 4.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Hey, I'm Steve Mignonti. You might see me on the Barrett Jackson Collector Car Auctions on Speed Channel, or maybe read my stuff in Hot Rod and Carcraft magazine. But when I'm in Maine, I get my fix from Mainely Motorsports.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel. Moody's Collision Centers, now in 5 convenient locations: Biddeford, Gorham, Portland, Sanford, and Scarborough.
Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Well, Mr. Sportsman Insider, like
Sportsman Insider.
Yeah, Travis Ingerson was the act insider. You're the past Sportsman Insider.
Oh,
right?
really?
Because you guys run it, right?
Yeah, we do.
So
we haven't missed a sportsman race with both cars.
No kidding. So didn't have a good start at Lee. Sportsman's already run a race, but
yeah, we dropped the cylinder 3 laps into the thing, and
but the last time,
whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
You guys run good at Beech Ridge.
Yeah.
And the question I have, and maybe I should have forewarned you on this, is everything all peachy keen between Dan McKay and Kerry Martin? Because the last time they were at Beech Ridge, they weren't happy with each other.
Listen, it's like this. They're both race car drivers, and we've had many discussions, you and I, off camera about race car drivers, but at Lee they talked.
End of story. And everybody has those moments, you know what I mean? And
we helped Kerry push his car onto the scales in the infield when we were out there, you know.
The 400's a big weekend.
It's a new season. Let's make it a new season.
That's right.
Let's push it back. Let's forget about it. Let's go on.
Now we'll touch that subject next Wednesday and see if it's still a new season, and if they're pushing them on the scales and all that. But no, they're both, I'll tell you what.
They're both hungry.
Oh yeah,
they both want to win every race.
So
that's why it happens.
What's the word on Shane Tatro? Is he?
I don't know. I haven't. I'm buddies with him. I left him a message. I wanted to know why he wasn't at Lee.
Right? Nobody's heard.
I just, and this is pure speculation. I mean, Shane, a lot of people I don't know if they know this, he's an accountant, and this was tax season, and maybe he just got overrun at work,
right.
you know.
So,
but I know him and his brother do pretty much anything, or everything out of their own pocket. And it's
tough.
So,
but we got a couple of guys. Joey Pastore, he's going to run, and had a good run at Lee, and had a good run at Beech Ridge last year, you know.
Yeah, Joey finished 3rd at Lee.
So, and Rusty Poland.
Rusty Poland finished 5th at Lee.
Yeah, and these guys were supposed to be Beech Ridge regulars, but I guess, it looks like they're going to run the Pro All-Star Series.
Right, and I mean, Doug Wolf ran a couple races with us last year, and
now he's doing the whole thing.
Now, supposedly, with any series, guys are on a tight budget, especially this year. So you don't know, their intentions are
to run it.
But I mean, so those 3 guys that we just mentioned, Joey finished 3rd at Lee, Rusty finished 5th at Lee, and Doug finished 6th at Lee. So
it just adds to the quality of the competition.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you,
there's 24 sportsmen registered.
The series that I think that is really this year going to take the jump.
I believe. I'm with you. I'm with you.
And my hat's off for Tommy Mayberry for sticking with it.
Right.
And sticking with it, because I know a few years ago everybody said it was dead. Bury it. Bury it. Bury it. I mean, but no, he stuck with it. Now, Dale Shaw. A recognizable name from years past at Beechers. Dave Sprague's building a car coming.
Yeah.
Chris Warming.
Yeah,
obviously mid-season.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing is that Chris is going to be there mid-season, sometime around the July Pass race.
Champion from last year, Ryan Phillips.
Yeah.
And then you throw in Andy Shaw.
The old standbys.
I'll tell you what.
Andy Shaw. I mean,
Billy Dixon,
Dana Reed. If
Alan
that series, Alan Wilson, if that series can get the standard, and they try hard in some races they do, but if they can get that 18 car mark or 15 to 20 car mark.
How many races did Andy win last year? 7 out of 10 or something like that?
I lost count after the fact.
As much as I'd like to...
Should have called Dave Weir.
As much as I'd like to think Andy can still... And he could win 7 out of 10. But if he wins 7 out of 10 this year, he's the man.
Yeah,
because, that is some...
Dale ain't going to play.
No, Dale ain't going to play. You guys, for all you newcomers to the past modifieds... Mr. Dale Shaw. That's all I got to say. But he's changed in his oh yeah. You know who else I think is going to have if Dale Shaw's going to have a pass modified, I'm going to build one for Billy Penfold.
Oh boy.
Maybe he'll be great by the end of the year. But
no, the pass mods is a great series. I mean, they don't get the great car counts, but they get they're
going to be around
they have a good show when Andy Shaw kind of stunk up the series a little bit last year. But a couple of those races, if you were at him, he didn't just kill them. He ended up...
He had to work his way.
And they fell into place, you know?
No, he does a good job.
But you talk about the sportsmen in the mods, that's some great racing. Whenever you get all 3 series at one track, you're a retard to miss it.
Oh, yeah. But, then you talk about the super late models. And... we're going to hear from Johnny here coming up, and his take.
We just heard from Travis Benjamin.
Yeah, but
there's
Mike's going to run part time.
Yeah, and
Ben and his group have got to want to come back. And
yeah,
I mean they finished 3rd. Most people would be ecstatic to finish 3rd and win a race or two. They were very disappointed.
I believe Cassius Clark's doing stuff with the Heights.
Corey Height, and I think they got Brian Burgess helping the troops out. So I'll tell you what. You win a race on that tour this year.
You earned it, right?
Derek Ranstrom. We all know what he's capable of doing. Coming back to run the full tour. There was nobody any better on that series the second half of the year than DJ Shaw.
Yeah.
Any better. They had a couple mechanical.
Right.
And now he's setting his sights on chasing that championship.
Right. And to stay with the Shaw clan, we all know Sally Graves, Sally Bolduc.
Yeah.
She has a car that John Donahue ran a couple times last year.
And ran well.
Yeah, and I don't know what their schedule. I don't know if they're going to do them all.
I don't imagine, but
he'll be tough in anything that he shows up in. So
somebody we haven't even mentioned yet. Just saw their logo up on screen. They're sponsoring this upcoming weekend's race at Beechridge. They're sponsoring all the past races at Beechridge.
Let me guess. Can I guess?
No, if you don't know, I'm firing you on site. I'll fire you on camera. The Southern Maine Motors Group.
Yeah.
Community Pharmacy, Team Mulkern. I mean,
they got Lonnie and Scott,
And I'm hearing rumors that there could be a young driver, one of our young guns, that'll be making some driving appearances in that. Which, speaking of young guns, we have 2 of them
running the Pass
Tour, Dustin Hubbard and Joey Dorian. Right. And so I'm excited for this weekend to kick off. I mean, I really am, because there's nothing like when it's just Beechridge, our home track. We grew up there, and then kick off with the Pro All-Star Series, which everybody knows.
Yeah, it's like Beechridge bookends itself with Pass now, with the beginning of the year and the 400 weekend.
And now they're around the middle of July too.
Right.
So it's going to be a great. I mean, if you want your value for your money to go see some great racing, you need to be at Beechridge this weekend. The legends are going to be there.
Yeah. And, the thing about Pass is they have these 3 series in the north, but they also have the South Series, which if you look at the registration list, a lot of the drivers, you have to go to the drivers
because
who
they bought
register
the
for
combo license, because like Ben's chasing the National, they got the All-American 400 at the end. They got some big deals.
That's going to be a big deal down in Tennessee. So
I can't wait. And the big question on everybody's mind is, can Johnny keep going?
Right.
And we'll find out in about 3 days.
Listen, Johnny Clark's going to be tough.
Always is.
No matter what.
He ain't gonna back down.
No.
He what he reminds me of? Marshall Dillon from Gunsmoke. I'm going to start calling him Marshall Dillon. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back, and you'll hear from Johnny Clark.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
Mainely Motorsports, brought to you by Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid. Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainely Motorsports.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch, and when I'm in Maine, I watch Mainly Motorsports.
Johnny, when I usually get a chance to talk to you, it's usually we're standing in Victory Lane, but truly, this is where it's all done, right? And this is where all the races are won, right here at the shop.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big believer in that. I mean, Stan Meserve told my dad back in the 80s that, 85% of all the races were won in the shop, and then the rest of it's just a crapshoot. But I'm a big believer in that. I mean, I take a lot of pride in not having many part failure DNFs. I mean, I guess not a whole lot you can do about part failures, but as far as anything stupid happening, mechanically wise, try to find them before it actually happens.
Now you've been at the top of the mountain for how many years? How many championships in a row?
4 in a row.
4 in a row. I mean, that's pretty unheard of, and because you got some stiff competition on the Pro All-Star Series, and last year you had Mulker Racing step up with Lonnie, and had it not been for a few issues at the beginning of the year, they'd have been a little bit closer, but. You had a phenomenal 2011.
7 out of 14. I mean, and then probably one of the most or the proudest things I am of the season was winning with 2 cars, and really it's become. I mean, you certainly can still get it done with 1 car. Don't get me wrong, but it's you got some of the tracks where Thompson and now Stafford where. A totally different package is better than a package you'd run at Oxford or Beach Ridge. So, we put all our eggs into one basket with the Thompson car and finally broke through and won a race there. So to have won with 2 different cars, I thought that was a pretty good accomplishment for the year. And of course, winning at Seekonk, another track that we'd never had won at. And being the first past regular that had won at Seekonk, thought that was pretty cool. Because had been dominated by Seekonk regulars. So,
what other tracks are on the list for Johnny to accomplish that he'd really like to win at that he hasn't won at?
Stafford, of course. I mean, be the first one to win at Stafford would be pretty cool. I went there in the '80s when I was a little kid and went to a flea market with my dad, but. That's certainly a place that I'd like to go back or go to Victory Lane in. So, really, any race I'm in, I want to win them all.
Now you talk about your dad, and a lot of people don't realize he was a racer, and he got out of the seat for you to get in the seat, and probably has accomplished more, obviously, and a lot more prouder moments watching you, and especially having your brother Bobby involved. I mean, and one of the things that's neat, and I got a chance last year at the past 400 weekend, I sat behind your grandfather watching the race, and it's just so neat to, you're such a family involved in the whole side of Clark Motorsports.
Yeah, I mean, from when I started when I was 14, it's, my mom, I think my parents have only ever missed 2 races that I've ever been in 15 years of racing, or I guess longer than that, but, so it's definitely it's very family oriented, and yeah, it's cool. I love watching old tapes of races and study stuff that even if we won or could change or make anything better. And always like seeing my grandfather pacing, at the fence back and forth as the laps wind down.
Oh yeah,
and
it was pretty neat because he never, for the last 10 or 15 laps, he never took his eyes off you.
Yeah.
So, and those are, and I say it all the time to these people. I mean, obviously Johnny Clark, we're probably never going to get a chance to see him race on Sundays at a Cup race and watching him hit but what he's done, and been able to accomplish here in the North, and you've made a lot of memories for a lot of the people that are around you.
Yeah, and that's like you said, my dad got out of the car to do all this and or to build it to where it is, and I don't think when he got out of it thinking it was going to go this far and to where we were a 2 or 3 car operation, and but it sure has been a lot of fun, and thank God we had the series that we do have, the past tour, and was able to grow with it, and been proud of that.
Now, years ago, back in your earlier years of when you first started becoming a successful Super Late Model driver, you were always that guy that would search out them races down south, a couple of appearances at the Snowball Derby, and but the last couple of years you've stayed close to home, concentrating on your past North efforts, and it's obviously paid off. But you got any more ambitions to get back down there and tackle some of those bigger, more notable races?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've also been growing a family too, so got a little girl that's 9 months now and 9 months old, and but yeah, we already, that's on our radar for this year is certainly the All-American 400 in Nashville, and as well as the Snowball Derby. That's something we haven't been to since 2008, and I told Mama that we're going this year, and she's pretty excited about it too. She's never been there, so it's a race that we've been competitive at, been able to run in the top 5, but never really left there thinking, well, was a race-winning car, but I guess that's what you're going to do, start by running the top 5. So we're really just trying to concentrate on having a real good season and lining ourselves up to really have a big end of the year and run races like the Snowball.
You had a huge 2011, but the off season, you mentioned the baby, that came about, got married. I mean, do you see that having much of an effect on your racing? And I mean, obviously you have other priorities now. That will come first, and but how much of effect is it going to have on your race program? And
well, it's definitely more challenging, but I think that's what's always made this team good too, was giving us different challenges, and yeah, it's I definitely got more hats to wear now and everything, but it just we got to do what we got to do, and we're not going anywhere in this series, and it works good for us, budget-wise and everything. We don't plan on going anywhere, and that's what we want to do.
Now, everybody, everywhere we go, we hear people talk about the economy, but you look at the lineup of what's going to happen this year in the Pro All-Star Series, the Super Late Model level, the mods grow. Past, Sportsman, they had 20 cars at Lee. But look at the guys that are coming, Derek Ranstrom. Richie Dearborn's on the entry list that, kind of retired last year, but going to come back.
DJ Shaw.
Was there anybody better than DJ Shaw the second half of the year? I mean, they had some mechanical failures, but once they really started concentrating on their pass program, and then obviously Ben finishing third, that's not a Ben type of year, so they're coming loaded for bear, and then Lonnie can only get better with another year with Malkern Racing.
Cassius in the 77.
Yeah, I mean, all new blood there. I mean, what do you expect?
I love it. No, that's what I want. Because everyone wants to win a race, but you really want to win a race when the field's stacked. And I know Corey Williams is registered for the
he's going to run
race.
some races. So
that's awesome. I wish we could race against have this full of fields every week, and it looks like it's going to start off really good, and hopefully everyone sticks with it. And I mean, I tell you, there's nothing like when I won my first Pro Stock race in '97 and beat Stan Meserve and John Phippen and Kenny Wright. That was the top 4,
That's a big
and
deal.
we won. That was huge to me, and it was I didn't want to win by having someone spin out on the last lap. And
you want to beat the best.
You want to beat the best, and that to win that $5 grand that day in '97 was the best, because this is who we beat. I felt like I was beating the best, and just a few years prior I was sitting in the grandstands cheering those guys on, and to have gone out there and beat him at 17, it couldn't have been any cooler. So, you know, it's I think it's really cool. The series is getting back to where it needed to be. Not that it was really missing a whole lot, but you know, being that Cassius is coming back full time, Ben and Lonnie, you know, it's
then you
gonna be a good year.
You know, Larry Gelinas is a name that's going to be running some races this year. And you mentioned about winning your first race. You know, I look back to Lee last year. You didn't win the race, okay? You had a car capable of winning. Finished second to Gary Smith, but were the first guy at the window net congratulating Gary Smith. And you guys had an epic battle for the last 10 or 15 laps. So you know, obviously you were a 14-year-old kid or a 15-year-old kid when you won your first race. But how big of that was for Gary to do that against the best?
Right.
And how big of that was for the series?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was that was good. That was really good. I mean, of course, it was, again, want to win every race, and ended up falling back to third actually in the last couple laps. But I just flat wore the tires off, and I was giving Gary the bottom, and I was taking the high side, and I knew that I could get a little more traction on the high side, and I knew if I had to give the bottom up to anyone who was going to race me clean, it was Gary, and I wasn't giving it to him. I wanted to win it bad, and he wanted to win it bad, and we never touched. It was that was a good race, and that was something that was really good for the series because Gary's been doing this for a long time, and I didn't realize that was his first pass win. And
it shows the little engine that could.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, that was great for him and his family-oriented team. So.
Yeah. Where is the best place to get a new Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep?
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors.
The new 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan delivers. Chances are you'll need to stop before it will. Delivering more than 25 miles per gallon, that's 500 miles per tank. Errands, soccer, baseball, or loaded full of college stuff, you'll get it all done easily with your new minivan from Southern Maine Motors. No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and their new Turner location on Route 4.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Award Champs, rewarding your champions. The official supplier of Mainly Motorsports. Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco. Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid. Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta. The official hotel of Mainly Motorsports.
Now, you've won everything here in the Northeast, you know, all the big races. You know, Unity had the, you know, a couple of $25,000 win races you won there. You've won in Canada. But the one race that you never won, you came close a couple times, dominant car a couple times, but just never was able to be the guy standing on the top of the podium, was the Oxford 250. I mean, how often do you think of the fact that that race escaped you?
Oh, quite a bit. Already thought about it today. No, it's just we've been fortunate and won a lot of big races, you know, good paying races. Made a lot of money at the Oxford 250. I mean, we took money out of there. You know, I think 20,000 one year, finishing second, you know, with lap money and everything, and took out 15,000 and only running half the race, but it was just because of lap money. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it bothers me. I mean, that was a race that we put a lot of hard work and effort into. I wish I could go back in time and know what I know today and go back and run the race, you know, with the super late models. But you know, not gonna say never or ever, and who knows? I mean, the right opportunity comes along or something, and maybe we'll end up back in the race someday.
Yeah, and you know what makes me think of that when I walked in the shop is you've got a lot of trophies. You got some on some windowsills, you got some upstairs, you know, winning trophies. But you got your second place Oxford 250 trophy at eye level. So whenever you're looking around the room and somebody's walking around, it's eye level. I mean, it's second place. And, you know, I mean, they call second the first loser, but you can't feel like it because you know, you were 10 laps away from winning the race.
No, I mean, if you look at the trophy and it's got all the second place finishers on it since day one, you know, some pretty big names and everything, and it's cool. It's a cool reminder, but it's also been a reminder of me that I finished second in 2005 to Mike Rowe, and to dig harder or work harder and dig deeper and do what you got to do. And you know, there's nothing I can do to bring that race back or anything, but no, it's cool. It's you know, it is what it is. It's a big race, and like I said, hopefully someday it works out to where, you know, can be back in the field again.
Now, upcoming this weekend, the Pass Open at Beech Ridge. You won it last year. You know, you won at the end of the year. You just, you know, Beech Ridge is one of those tracks you've got a handle on now. But are there any changes in the 54 camp this year that are going to be tougher? Not counting the family changes, but that are going to make it a little tougher on you as the driver, as the guy that's here working on the car, as, you know, it's the guy, you're the leader of the group. You know, is there anything going on that's going to make that a little challenging?
You know, as far as the car goes and everything, we're pretty much, you know, we haven't made any big changes or anything. I always feel like that we could always perfect what we're doing, so that's what I always just try to stick to and try not to reinvent the wheel. But so speed-wise, I think we'll be good. You know, my brother's going to be taking a little bit of a different role this year, running more go-kart races with his two boys, and my also a nephew that's so there's 3 nephews that are racing, ranging from ages 4 to 12. So they're going to be down in Richmond a lot, and I understand completely. That's, you know,
being a family man now, you
absolutely
understand. You know,
absolutely. You know,
you're going to be the guy sitting at the dance recitals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, thank God that it's a leap year, and we're not racing this year because her first birthday's on a Sunday. So if it had fallen on a Saturday, it wouldn't have been good. But she so. I've got 5 or 6 years before I got to worry her birthday falling on a race day, so that's good.
No, that's good. But you've been with Port City race cars for quite a few years, and a lot of guys, you know, have tried and haven't been able to perfect that Port City challenge. But for you, it works. I mean, you must have a great relationship with them, and you know, and every year you're stout. You're running at the front of the field, winning them a lot of races.
No, I really do. We have an awesome relationship, and Harley and I, and at Port City, but. It's just, you know, I think, you know, they're all pieces of steel. You can all make them go and everything, and just Port City's like me, and I like them. I mean, just, you know, I've been running them since I was 15 years old, and that's what I've been working with for the last 17 years. So it's just, it's worked well. It's been a good relationship, and I know I've helped sell some cars, and I got a good gig with them. So it's been a good deal for both of us.
Now, what do you look for in your 2012 season? I mean, obviously now the championship, but realizing winning 7 out of 14 with the lineup we mentioned earlier is going to be pretty tough. And if you can win it, that even, you know, just is huge and bigger than what you were able to do last year. But what are some of the things you're looking for?
Well, obviously we want to win the championship. We plan on running every race and everything, and winning every race we can. Being competitive and doing what we're going to do. I mean, won 7 out of 14 last year. I mean, no one's done that since I think it was 2001 or 2 or 3 maybe when Ben won 8 out of 16. So if we can go out, just win as many races as we can, and hopefully the points, you know, do take care of themselves, and limit the DNFs or the bad finishes, and just go out and have fun.
Yeah, and we talk about the points, and Beech Ridge always has the big car counts, and you've always been fortunate that isn't a race. If you're going to drop out of one, you can't drop out of one when there's 35 cars.
That's right.
And 33 finish.
That's right.
Because that'll just bury you and dig you a big hole this weekend. So do you go into that race opening day with a different mindset than you would if it was mid-season?
No, honestly, no, because everyone's already at 0. So if you put yourself behind a Beech Ridge opening day, it's not good. But at the same time, I almost think that everyone thinks they have got nothing to lose, so you're going for it. Everyone's going for the win opening day. You know, I've always said that Beech Ridge is a wild card because you just never know who's going to run good there. It seems like, you know, 1 week or, you know, a couple times, or last year we ran good there. We won 2 and finished second in the other. Ben's run good at times there, and then he's run terrible at times there. But we've run terrible at times there. But, you know, you look back since about 2008, we started to figure it out, and we've been one of the better cars and won our fair share of, you know, I think we've won the 300 there 3 times. So, you know, we're looking forward to it for sure. So.
Now, the family business has always been supportive of the racing and the racing operation, but who's some of the other people that have been there for Johnny all these years that have really, really been the difference in why you are, you know, a multi-time champion and multi-time race winner?
Well, my brother, of course, been around forever, you know, since I started racing, and he was a huge part of it over the years. Bill and Heidi Marshall, you know, they've been a big help. I think this is going to be our 10th year together. So, but we've gotten a lot of help from Sempico Lubricants, Schoenfeld Headers, Porsche Race Cars, as you mentioned, Yankee Communications, DNK Select Used Cars over the years, and it's been a good run, and gonna keep digging and try to win as many as we can.
All right. Well, we're going to see what happens this upcoming weekend as you kick off title defense, and I mean, you've been kicking. I mean, this will be 5 in a row, and how big would that be to win 5 in a row at the premier touring facilities and, you know, the premier tour in the Northeast? So good luck from all of us at Mainly Motorsports, Johnny, and who knows, we could be talking to you in a few more days standing in victory lane.
Sounds good.
All right, Johnny.
Thank you.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Here we are with the runner-up finisher for the Speedway 95 late model kickoff for the year, and I mean, I know runner-up, you like to think you had something for him, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think you did. What do you think?
No, clearly I didn't. I thought maybe in the beginning part of the race, I thought if things wound down a little bit and things played out like they have in the past, that we'd at least be able to race with him, but this got looser and looser and looser coming off the corner as the race went on, and he had the fastest car.
Oh, he brought his A game, but talk about this. I mean, you finished up the year last year, won the Long John up there at Unity, and you know, you come down here and you'd like to run weekly here, but you could really use some sponsorship help.
Yeah, I do. A couple people actually have come on. I don't have any vinyl on the car, but Andy's Painting and Business Solutions out of Manchester have both helped out a little with promise for more. So, you know, hopefully that'll take some of the sting out of it. But spent most of the winter building my daughter a Stars of Tomorrow car for Wacky Wednesday. And this sat in the garage up until about 2 weeks ago, and you know, it obviously is ready, but we just missed the setup a little.
Well, still, to come home runner-up opening day, it's a pretty big deal anyway.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, it's in one piece. We won money enough, so I know for a fact we'll be here next week, but I'm a little bit of a sore loser, and I'm not real happy with second.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the way, Andy, and congratulations on a great run today.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, you said earlier when I talked to you there, Hot Rod, that you never lost opening day, and why were we going to start tonight, right?
Well, after the heat race, I mean, we started fifth or sixth in the heat race, made it up to second, and just ran out of time. I didn't think I had anything there. I call him my little brother Philip Richards in there. He was really good. I mean, I didn't think I could catch him in the heat race, and then Willie went to work on it in intermission and made a track bar adjustment, a stagger adjustment, and the thing just come to life. The first lap, sailed her into one, the thing stuck, and it rotated so good through the center. And I mean, the racetrack's so green that the outside's so much faster than the bottom. And it just stuck, and I sailed it off at 2, and that was history from there. And we look back, and I mean, we had over a straightaway lead at one point. So
yeah, this thing was bad fast. You know, I mean, there was 17 late models here tonight, but you were in a class of by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I owe that to Anthony Wilcox. I mean, he's the mastermind behind this deal. It just makes me look good. And I mean, this old car right here, this thing's won a lot of races opening day. I mean, Paul White won with it. I've won 3 with it now out of 4. I've only raced it 3 opening days, and I won all 3. And mini stock, I think I won 5. So I think I'm 8 for 8 right now.
8 for 8. So one of these days you realize your streak's going to get broken.
I thought it was going to get broken tonight, but you know what? That's racing, and luck goes a long ways with racing, and I think luck was on my side tonight.
Yeah, because there were some good cars in the field, and you know, once you distance yourself, but we had some late race cautions, you know, and that's got to make you wonder, because you know, if the clutch slips, do I spin a tire, you know, like break loose, or you know, and but you didn't. I mean, you got a good restart each time and just checked out.
Well, especially when the temperatures are so cold like it is, I just kept going down the backstretch and hold the brake, spin the rear tires, hold the brake, spin the rear tires, just hope it keep any dirt. And I knew when that caution come out, when the 54, something happened on the backstretch, there's only about 3 or 4 to go, and I look in my mirror and I see the 01 there. I see this is gonna be boys have at it, because yeah, Andy's good to race with, and man, he's got restats mastermind. So I just gripped the wheel with all 8 knuckles and wrapped around the steering wheel, helped for the best, and we come out, and I mean we were fast enough, but I can't thank everybody enough. Can't thank you guys, can't thank Dell and all the sponsors.
Yeah, now what do you think about what's going on here at Speedway 95? I mean, the improvements, the atmosphere, the attitude, everybody. It's like I mean, a lot of the same people, but it's a lot of newness.
Well, I mean, and Dell's trying. I mean, the best thing he could have done is nothing against Dallas, is that he owns the racetrack. I mean, he's a racer. He loves racing. He wants to be involved. You know, we helped him as much as I could, and when I say we, me and my father-in-law, I got some small equipment. My father-in-law, he's the one that's did the majority. He built the berm, the back stretch. We did the front stretch, but you know, it's going to be a good place to race, I think. I mean, they got a little flaws to work out, but every place has got its own little issues, and there's a lot of good cars, a lot of good drivers, and everybody's cars look good, and everybody seems to be happy. I mean, we had more fans tonight on as cold as it was, and we had all last year on an 80-degree night. So I think Dell's doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're right. And you were the top dog here last year, and it looks like 2012 is no different. Mike Hot Rod Hopkins picks up the win opening day here at Speedway 95.
Thank you.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems, even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel. Moody's Collision Centers, now with 6 convenient locations.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainly Motorsports. Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel.
A great night of racing it was at Speedway 95. Congratulations to all the winners. Ryan Beal, Bradley Dolan in the Sport 4 winner, Shane Tatro in the Sportsman, Ryan Beal in the Strictly Street, Andrew Crosby in the Bomber, and how about Hot Rod Hopkins picking up where he left off last year in the late model. So congratulations to them. It was a cold night, but the fans braved the cold weather. And now we're off with a lot of the race teams. You see the hollows over my shoulders. I'm going to go grab something to eat at Dysart's. That's it for this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports.